Hi everybody, Michael James Smith here. I just wanted to share with you how I do the distance. You've got this lovely painting here, I think it's probably the River Usk, but we're going to work on the trees at the back today. This area here in particular, you've got a nice layer of lighter blue moving into slightly more contrast, and we're going to get going on the detail. I've blocked in the sky, as you can see, and I've given that a coat of paint, and I've actually come over the top, overlapped the top of the dried paint there, as you can see, and actually that's going to help us out because it's going to allow us to do a softer edge, a softer tree line. So there's the paints that we've already used for the sky. For the trees, I'm going to be using a sap green. We've got a burnt umber. We've got a cerulean blue. We've got a Winsor lemon, I believe. Cadmium yellow, and we've got a phthalo green. It's a really good colour, that, because it does liven things up. It's quite sharp. Okay, so let's get going. Right, I'm just trying to get the colour right with this bit. Just trying to get an even colour so that I can gradiate it from top to bottom. Mixing a bit of cerulean blue with some white, a little bit of dioxin purple there, and as we come down we give it a little bit more colour, a bit more saturation, and slightly darker. What you have to bear in mind, this is the shadows that we're doing here. We'll put detail over the top of this once we get going. So we're just going to build it up. We're not trying to cover the whole thing in a darker colour here. We're just trying to fill in where the shadows would be, and we'll put the highlights over the top of this. So as you can see, it's quite mottled, really. And now we're going to use a flat hog brush here, and it's a new brush, so it's got a nice sharp edge to it, and that's going to allow us to do the canopies, paint the canopies. It's quite a subtle colour. It's difficult to see here in the video, but that brush has given us almost a triangular shape, which works brilliantly for the canopies of the trees. And we'll just put that on. We're going to fill up this top area here, and as we come down we're going to increase the saturation so it'll become greener and yellower, but the technique will stay relatively similar. This is a close-up here, just showing you how that canopy looks, and the effect is pretty good here, but it's quite time consuming. As we move into the field there in the distance, we're using the same brush, different technique, but it's the same brush. As you can see there, we just slightly changed the colour, a bit more saturation, probably even a little bit lighter, but once again it's the same technique, and we're going to use the same technique pretty much the whole way through the video. We just continue building it up. It's certainly starting to take shape now. And here we move over to another bit of tree here, and as you can see, the darker bits that we're putting on is even darker still, because you need that. The closer it gets, the more contrast you need. And what I've used there is some sap green, some ivory black, and a lot of liquid, so it's very, very sort of wet, and that gives you that transparent look, which is what you want for the background colour. And then once again, here we are putting the canopies over the top. Even though it's a nearer tree, you know, you don't. The technique's still very much the same. Probably now you're not doing so much with each individual brushstroke. You're not doing a canopy as such, but you are doing the leaves. Then we'll just continue adding layer after layer until we're happy with it. Going to add a few branches in here, and sometimes actually once you've done that initial the darker tones, if you then go in with branches and just whatever, you know, just dirty it up a bit, when you then come and put the leaves over the top, it really does make it punch. It really gives you a little bit extra. So there it is. That's as far as we've got with that one. I'll continue that again tomorrow, but I hope you've enjoyed it and learnt something, and we'll see you again. Thanks ever so much.